Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. So, I wanted to sleep, but I was like, I just can't leave you guys without a little update as to what happened to the lawsuit. There have been a ton of questions, and there's also been a ton of backlash of people asking me what happened to the price now that this whole lawsuit thing actually happened. So, let me quickly start off with what was supposed to happen today. John Deaton, whom we asked this question right here, if we could get in contact with him, he actually saw it, he actually replied. More info on that is coming soon. He was filing a motion to intervene today. And what that basically means is he was filing to actually intervene into the lawsuit, as basically XRP holders weren't properly represented, and there's a couple of other points. You can read it here completely for yourself if you want to. I will not leave a link below, but it's really easy to find over on my Twitter or on John Deaton's Twitter or on cryptolaw.us. You can see here the website is really simple to find. It is really simple and you can definitely do it. Now, I guess one of the easiest points to kind of explain what happened in this little document is from the top, you can see statements of facts. Government agencies recognize XP as a currency, which again, we have already discussed a couple of times. The Securities and Exchange Commission, I would say basically just how they work. XRP holders contribute to the XP ecosystem, basically saying it's not only Ripple who does things for XRP Ledger and the ecosystem. The SEC complaint charges Ripple but attacks XP and XP holders. This is basically their mistargeted attack. And XP holders take action, which I guess would be this. And also the 11,000 people who joined. Then argument, intervention in SEC enforcement action is permitted. XP holders should be granted intervention as a right. Those two are not really relevant to us. If you're not a lawyer, you most likely didn't understand the legal title here. This is, however, really interesting. A motion is timely. We understand that. XP holders took immediate action to protect their interest. Oh, sorry, guys. There's no prejudice to existing parties resulting from delay, and XP holders would be prejudiced by denial of the motion. This one is where it gets interesting. It would really hurt if the motion was denied because then we would not be properly represented, which is actually what they talk about a little bit below as well. As of this point, nor Ripple nor the SEC is actually properly representing us, and that is something which needs to change. Circumstances favoring intervention. XP holders have a protectable interest in the property subject to this action. Logically, yes. Without intervention, XP holders' interest may be impeded by the disposition of this case. Definitely so. XP holders' interests are not adequately represented, and that is two-pointed. The SEC does not adequately represent, and nor does Ripple. We all get that, and that's basically the point, right? The rest of this, once more, you can read for yourself, but that's basically the red line through this. Now, once more, hopefully, we can get John Dean to explain this a little bit more in depth. Would be a really cool chance if we actually get to talk about that. Talk with him about that. But again, we are not sure about that just quite yet. What we do have for right now, though, is that it's a really beautifully written document in the sense that he's basically really putting up all our concerns here. He's putting up the concern like we as XP holders are not properly being represented by neither parties, like we've explained in the videos. He is also putting up the fact that XRP does not only consist of Ripple. XRP has a ton of people in there, a ton of which who did not even know Ripple existed. Gotta just be honest with you, I get that too. A ton of which also are not here with an investment contract to Ripple, but are actually just building stuff with XRP or the XP Ledger or just within the XP ecosystem. A ton of people who get paid every single day, for example, in XRP. Not me, by the way. Some people think I get paid in XRP. Never gotten paid in XRP. But just people there who get paid in XRP, for example, music artists. Maybe a person who has a store. I don't know. But there's a ton of people working on this every single day that are not affiliated with Ripple either. Just this little side notes there. And everything here is beautifully built because we kind of needed this, right? I'm just saying we needed this as kind of a baseline. This does not mean it's actually granted. There's now going to be like a 2-week period where I think it's May 13th actually, where the SEC can then respond to this document, why they would not want the XRP supporters to come in and intervene, which they've already done before, by the way. They've already written such a document before, why they do not want them. But John Deaton in this document also comes back and says that they did not want it, is also a strange part. And logically, yes, the SEC is having a lawsuit against Ripple, with their basic principle being to protect the U.S. investors and serve and whatever their clause is. If they're not allowing this intervention, they're basically saying, you know what, we are already protecting you, so you don't need to come on in. But we're just coming in because they're not properly protecting us. So it would really be kind of a stab in the foot if they were to go against it. And that's also why I would find it really kind of strange if the judge were to be like, no, you're not necessary, because, well, it is really relevant. Whatever verdict is drawn for XRP, it affects us quite heavily. And since the judge might also be able to see now that, yeah, Ripple nor the SEC reflects us properly, we ourselves should have a chance to come on in. Once more, it might be that I'm not understanding this properly enough. I'm not a lawyer, not a financial advisor, nothing like that. I just read this through, as you guys most likely know. We've read it partially in the video as well. Sorry, I guess in the live stream. And the conclusion was it's written in a way that I can finally understand. It's not something really just filled with legal jargon where I can't understand a single word. No, it was actually really clear. And that's also why I'm saying if you want a document to read, this is going to be one of the easier ones to get through. The other ones are just really freaking annoying and really hard. But this is definitely a simple one to get through, at least in my opinion. It's written like a human instead of like a kind of a robot that knows the law to the freaking core. Once more, not kind of dissing him. I'm just saying it's written in a way that somebody like me, who doesn't know English perfectly, can actually still get through it. Another point he likes to make is, again, the talks which the SEC's lawyers have had with the judge. For example, talking about how XRP has utilities, what the judge says. The SEC lawyer saying, nah, that's not really the case. So back and forth, back and forth. Again, a couple of points with the Director Hidman. I'm not going to cover that too much here in Jake Clayton, a little bit of that type of stuff. It's just a really interesting document, and I think this will be really important for the lawsuit's process. But in the end, you're not going to know until we get the end result, which we have not gotten. Then, you guys must be wondering about the price, right? There's a ton of things which we talked about in the live stream. For example, somebody says, why can't the price go up, for example? There were a ton of other things. How can I get John Dean's attention, I asked. John Dean, we were stalking him a little bit for everything that he was posting because it was really freaking interesting to watch. There was a video about David Schwartz here, which can also show you guys. I think it was really cool to watch. It's basically him predicting kind of a little bit ago that this was going to occur. I thought that was also really kind of funny. Let me show you guys this little video. If I can, quickly put the sound up here. There we go. Okay, let me quickly start this from the start.
It's very hard to decide how the laws apply. And that's why I think you will see many organizations, Ripple and many others, Coin Center is another, lobbying regulators, not so much to change the law, but to clarify it, like to tell us what it is that we need to do so that someone doesn't come down 2 years later and say, hey, what you were doing completely in the open and completely transparently for the last 4 years was illegal from day one, and you should have known that. And we're like, we meet with you like every week about what we're doing, and now you're telling us we should have realized 4 years ago that it was fundamentally and completely illegal? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And so
I was really wondering what exactly he says after that, but we're now finding out. He does make a really good point, though. Right there, right now, not asking, or they back then, this is 2019, they weren't asking to change the rules. They wanted to make them clear. And I think that's a really important point here as well. They wanted this for years now. They've been asking this for years. Ripple has really put open the idea towards the SEC so often, yet now all of a sudden they got sued. And not only does it hurt Ripple, but us as XP investors as well. And that is basically, again, what John Dean is fighting for with this little motion right here, because he wants to come on in and represent us who have been hurt by the SEC, who were supposed to be protected, not some multinational company with billions of dollars. No, us individual investors who lost money because of the SEC's actions. Purely the SEC's actions. Could they have done this better, the SEC? Yes. Should they have done this better? Yes. Should they have just done it completely differently in a really just more humane way where we wouldn't have lost much money? Was it possible to easily do that? Yes. They just chose to go directly, heavily, crazily after it. And that, again, cost us a lot of money. David Schwartz here really beautifully explains that the way of action that the SEC is going through right now, it's just so odd that it's hard to comprehend exactly what was going through their mind or what exactly their thought process was at the time. I still have at least spent 20 minutes just thinking right now what could have been it, what exactly could have happened, and I just cannot figure it out why they would have sued right now, where again, they meet up with Ripple most likely every mother freaking week, going through everything, but still again, they're like, oh, you should have known about it. They're like, well, we asked you for years. We've asked you every week, so how come now all of a sudden? It's like, well, we're not going to tell you that. We're not going to tell you. You should have just known. Like, but why didn't you tell us when we asked if we were doing something wrong? You never told us. You never told anybody who asked you for it. And once more, the whole lawsuit is freaking stupid. The little document here once more has also shown me that the SEC and the way they're doing things, it ain't right. It just fundamentally is not right. And I hope And I sincerely hope that is eventually going to be set straight as well. Same thing for the freaking verdicts from before. Ripple has been called, oh sorry guys, XRP has been called a currency before by one governmental body. Why didn't the SEC come in back then and say, okay, you know what? For you, it might be a currency, but for us, it's still not determined. It might actually be a security. Because in the letters from 2016, I believe, they've actually sometimes stated XRP was a currency as well, or at least a digital currency, digital asset, digital currency. I'm not sure exactly. They just believe digital currency. They've stated that a couple of times before in some of their letters. It's so confusing, and I just think they're doing that on purpose in some degree, some way, shape, or form. In the end, we're not going to find out because, of course, they would not admit. They would not admit to all these facts. But the judge might see through the charade. They might see that the SEC has been doing some really shady stuff here. And I just hope that John Deaton's perspective is going to bring light to some other part, which is more the humane part of things, right? SEC is doing business and political stuff, bureaucracy. Ripple is doing purely business. And we kind of have the more humane side of things because the judge is going to see that too. This is just emotion. 11,000 people have just been hurt by the people that were supposed to protect them. Yeah, is not the way it's supposed to be. You could riot about this type of stuff because they basically just lost us billions of dollars worth of money. Luckily, again, I don't want to say luckily because, again, I'm not sure exactly who hurt himself to what degree because of all of this. I want to say luckily there weren't any real victims, but you never know. This type of stuff can really mess people up. And I just think the SEC should have thought this one through a little bit better because they're thinking, you know what? We're going to sue them for $1.3 billion. It's going to hurt them really. Haha. Well, I don't think it really hurt Ripple that much because they have a bigger plan. They'd be set back a little bit, okay. But, you know, Chris Larson, for example, is still going to be a billionaire. Who else do we have? Brett Garlinghouse is still going to be a multimillionaire regardless of what happens. Ripple, the company, will still succeed regardless of what they do. It is only us who've all of a sudden lost a ton of our money that might start to have some problems now because we have no influence on that event. We have no real bearing towards Ripple anyway. So yeah, those were just my 2 cents. If you're talking about the price right now, the price most likely fell down because Bitcoin went down a little bit. We talked about it before as well. Right, Bitcoin came back in. The video is a little bit pre-recorded right now. I think I'm going to post it like an hour or so. Why? Well, because it's freaking almost 5 a.m. and, you know, sleep is a thing. You guys were saying as well, Dusty, go sleep. I'm just recording it right now, but since I already posted the video, like right now, I'm going to wait for a little bit before I post it, right? You guys get that, hopefully. I'm just going to have to like wait an hour maybe or maybe 2 hours before I can post it, but I will pretty soon here, guys, and you will learn all about it. It's basically just a summary anyway of the lawsuit. But if you're talking about the price, I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. Bitcoin made another retest here. Are we going to fall through? If we do, we don't want to fall below this area. If we do, though, again, it's going to be picked up once more by around this area right here. Hopefully. If it does break through both of them, could be a little bit worse because we're not making higher lows then at that point anymore. So, yeah, once more, if we just made a bottom right here, it's basically a bottom right here with one outlier. I would say, again, all good still. We're all in the clear. If we go even lower than this level right here, we have to reconsider some things and start to adjust a little bit because there is some weakness showing. A lot of it, I think, is because of the whole SafeMoon Doge ordeal where people are just thinking it's free money in crypto space everywhere. A lot of it also has to do with a lot of liquidations from the longs being popped right here, which of course is less bullish momentum right now, and people are being more fearful going long less quickly. But in the end of things, there's a $1,000 freaking deposit bonus on Bybit right now. So yeah, I'm saying, man, there's a lot of money to be made on here. It's definitely possible. Be careful with leverage trading because you can lose money as easily as you can win it. But in the end, I like it a ton. It's easy money sometimes too. If you have a strategy, sometimes it just works out. I don't know what else to say there. So yeah, that was it for today's update. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something new. That was my 2 cents on it. And again, if you have any questions for John Deaton, post them down below. I'm not sure if we can get them answered, but I'll definitely update you guys as to what we can find out. I'm hoping we can. And he sounds like a reasonable man. So let's see.